What's up guys, it is LateCom here. We're back with yet another Trove video on the channel, and today we're going to be talking about everything that you will need to know about crystal gears, because in this video we're going to be discussing about the basics of crystal gears and methods to obtaining different crystal gear levels, as well as the number of materials required to max them, and not to mention the statistic levels in comparison to the other levels of crystals. So without further ado, let's begin with this video, starting from the basics all the way up till the advanced information regarding crystal gears. If you probably didn't already know what crystal gear in Trove is all about, crystal gear is basically the highest rarity of gears that you will be able to obtain, with level 4 crystal gears being the highest. You'll need a minimum class level of 20 in order to equip a gear of crystal rarity, and the base amount of power rank that you will be obtaining for a crystal gear, also known as crystal level 1, will be 800 power rank. To increase the power rank of your crystal gear, simply head on over down into the enchanted forge to increase the stat level of your gears and to add an additional stat to your gear. You will require 10 pearls of wisdom to completely increase the stat level on your gems, accompanied by the further improvement on those statistics on your gear in the forge, in which there will be 5 different star levels to obtain. Each level will require crystalline cores, forge fragments, and nitroglycerine, and the amounts that will require to max out a crystal level 1 set will be shown as shown right here on your screen now. Crystal level 1 gears can be found in Uber 8 topside and above, and the weapon version of crystal level 1 will be craftable inside the Sunseeker's crystal forge, which is going to be located in each and every spawn inside the topside world. A maxed out crystal 1 will grant you a maximum of 520 light for your weapons and 260 on your hat and face specifically. We will be comparing these statistics to the rest of the crystal levels in the later part of this video. Note that you will not be able to level up crystals from level 1 to higher levels, with an example being that a gear at crystal level 1 will definitely always stay at crystal level 1, and so on and so forth. There is no way to level up a crystal gear apart from improving and increasing the stat levels on it. Now, let's take a look at the different types of stats that you can obtain on your crystal gears. For your weapon, you will always definitely get physical or magic damage on the first stat based on the weapon type. If your class is a magic damage dealing class, you will always be getting magic damage on your first stat, and for physical damage classes, you will always be getting physical damage on your first stat. And for the third and fourth stats, you will also be able to switch between the following stats, in which is going to be attack speed, critical damage, energy, maximum health, or movement speed. For your fourth stat, you will be able to obtain critical hit, health regeneration, jump, magic find, or stability. You may be wondering why I intentionally missed out the second stat, and this is because light will always be present in the second stat. Moving on to the face, you will always have maximum health as a first stat. The third and fifth will include attack speed, critical damage, health regeneration, and movement speed. And the fourth stat will allow you to choose between physical or magic damage, jump, magic find, maximum health, or stability. For the hats, the first stat will always be maximum health as well, with the third and fifth stats allowing attack speed, critical damage, health regeneration, and movement speed as well. For the fourth stat, you will be allowed to choose between jump, lasermancy, magic find, maximum health, and stability. I would like to remind you guys out there that the first two stats on your classes will always stay at a constant and can never be changed. The fifth stat will only appear after you use a couple of pearls of wisdoms on your gears in the enchanted forge, and the fourth and fifth stat can be changed via the chaos forge at the cost of 1 tentacle of QB and 10 flux. For your third stat, you will only be able to alter this stat specifically on second stat reroll week, in which comes once every month. Each week a new bonus will be in rotation, so keep your eyes peeled and check out the welcome screen to check for the current weekly bonus. Next up, we will have Crystal 2 gears. Crystal 2 gears are, as their name suggests, a higher rarity than Crystal 1. Crystal level 2 gears can be found in Uber 9 topside and above and will be a rarer drop than Crystal 1, and after using pearls on your gear, you will be receiving a total of 1169 power rank, and for light, you will be receiving a total of 520 lights on your weapons and 260 for your hats and faces, and a max Crystal level 2 will grant you a total of 1519 power rank, and for light, you will be receiving 910 on your weapons and 455 for each of your hats and faces. You may be starting to see a little correlation in the light distribution on your hats, faces, and weapons, and yes, the amount of light in your weapons will always be twice the amount in comparison to those on hats and faces. You may be able to notice that the amount of light in a Crystal 2 gear fully pearled will be similar to the amount that you will be able to obtain from a max level Crystal 1, and that is probably why a Crystal level 2 with 1 star will always have a higher light amount than a max level Crystal 1, and this is one of the reasons why you should be trying to get higher level crystal gears. Moving on over onto the next level of crystal gears, it is going to be none other than level 3. You will be able to obtain Crystal 3 gears in the Uber 10 world of Geo topside, and they will be a rarer drop in comparison to Crystal 2. However, the difference will not be really that game-breaking. Well, following the similar pattern earlier, a Crystal 3 with pearls completed will grant you a total of 1238 power rank and 900 in light for the weapons, 455 for the faces and hats. As I have mentioned earlier, I would recommend you guys to farm for Crystal 3 gears and level it up to 1 star, as a 1 star Crystal 3 will grant you more lights than a max Crystal 2 would. It is not going to be as recommended for you to max out your Crystal 3 set entirely. However, you could level it up to 1 or 2 stars and save the rest for Crystal 4 farming and leveling up, as Crystal 4 will require the most amount of materials to craft, and a max level Crystal 3 will grant you 1609 power rank, followed by 1300 lights on your weapon with 650 lights on your hats and faces respectively. One thing that I really want to stress on in this video before we continue on is that Magic Find does not affect the level of Crystal Gears drops. It is true, to some extent, that a higher Magic Find will give you more chances at obtaining a higher level Crystal Gear, but the truth is, Magic Finds will only give you more Crystal drops, and this does not affect the level of the drops that you'll be getting. Meaning to say, a player with 500 Magic Finds could possibly be lucky and obtain a Crystal Gear in Uber 10 topside in their first dungeon, and a player with 3000 Magic Find could be unlucky enough not to obtain a single Crystal 3 in a total of 100 dungeons. The drop rates for Crystal 3s are going to be very based on RNG. This goes to say for the other levels as well, and the main point of this part is to let you guys know that Magic Find will only affect the amount of Crystal Gears dropped and is not going to be directly proportionate to the level of Crystal Gears. And finally, we have reached the dreading end, in which is going to be none other than Crystal 4 Gears, requiring a whopping 1000 crystalline cores, 1500 forge fragments, and 10,000 nitro glitterines to max out. This rarity of crystal is definitely going to be the hardest to complete. Crystal 4 gears can only be found in delves, and these gears are going to be appearing in depths of 115 and above. They will only appear from the shadowy vaults every 3 depths and are not a guaranteed drop. You are going to have troubles finding for a Crystal 4 set, let alone leveling it up. A pearled Crystal 4, as you guessed it, will grant you 1300 light for the weapons and 650 light for the hats and faces, and the power rank you will be receiving will be 1306. I forgot to mention that each crystal level should be at least 4 stars in order to see an increase in power rank in comparison to a max crystal of the previous level. This means that you will not be receiving a higher power rank initially with a fresh higher crystal level, but you will need it leveled up to at least 4 stars or above to see an improvement in power rank. for a max crystal level 4, you will be receiving 1698 power rank alongside with a whopping 1690 light for your weapon and 845 for your hats and faces. And now, for the question that every newer player out there is asking, what is the best way to farm for higher level crystal gears? Well, the answer to this question is going to be that there isn't any. You will have to farm Uber 10 to get Crystal 2 or 3, as the higher the Uber, the higher the possibility of a better crystal drop, and you will have to farm Delve for hours on end in order to successfully obtain a Crystal 4 gear. There is not going to be any shortcuts, and of course, Magic Find will help you increase the amount of crystal drops that you will be receiving, but that, as I said earlier, does not affect the level that you will be obtaining. I will be linking a spreadsheet made by SummerHaas regarding the stats and power rank levels down in the description below, but I just want to mention that the Forge fragments required in that spreadsheet is going to be a wrong amount, and the total amount to max a crystal 4 is indeed going to be 1500. I guess that's gonna be all for this big brain video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and if you're interested in learning how to build your classes on damage, light, and power rank, feel free to check out a couple of videos in the description below. Don't forget, as usual, to leave a like as well as subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in the next video, and peace out.